Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher Smith, and as part of the Capstone Project at the George Washington University, it is my privilege to do a press brief update in regards to our mitigation efforts. So without further ado, I would like to go ahead and start. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher Smith, and I am the Serving Emergency Regional Coordinator for the Burlington area. Since our last correspondence, the winter storm we are currently experiencing is the worst winter storm for the state of Vermont in recorded history. Instead of the expected snow so many of us hoped for, we are receiving a record level of ice and freezing rain. The National Weather Service is forecasting another 2 to 3 days of freezing rain and ice accumulation. Currently, the city of Burlington and the surrounding areas has already received 6 to 7 inches of ice. As a result, an emergency operations center has been established at the mayor's office. Employees of the mayor's office, as well as public servants, will be manning this position 24 hours a day until we are cleared of this winter storm. A web page, as well as Facebook pages and a Twitter feed, have been established to provide a means of communication other than voice. We are currently using the hashtag #WorstStormEver to be used when mentioning emergencies or updating officials on conditions through means of social media. Civilian communication systems, cellular phones, and landlines do not currently work. There is no timeline currently for when these services will be brought back online. Also, local hospitals are reporting an increase in leg and hip fractures, in part due to the populace getting out in this winter storm. Hospital officials have also made mention of their fears about elderly persons being isolated and cut off from emergency services. There are an unknown number of citizens who fall within this category. Contributing to this problem set is the disruption of 911 services due to downed power lines and phone lines I've already mentioned. Further, the local airport is shut down completely, with no flights inbound or out in the foreseeable future. As a result, this has left a significant number of travelers stranded at the airport, and efforts are currently underway to bring services to them. Also, roadways have been deemed inoperable by the Department of Transportation, and we urge all citizens to stay home and stay off of the roads. In part due to our loss of power, many residents are using alternative heating sources that increase the risk of fire and carbon monoxide poisoning. That is the critical update as of right now. There are 2 areas in which I wish to talk to you about further: community safety and transportation. Community safety. Residents continue to go out into the storm at great risk to themselves and others. This action has resulted in an increase of hip and leg fractures and puts stress on emergency services and our local hospitals. When citizens venture out in this storm, it needlessly endangers themselves and emergency response personnel who must respond should an emergency occur. Also, an unknown number of residents may be isolated during this storm. If it is safe for you to do so, we ask that you please go check on your neighbors, ensure that they're okay, and provide an update to the effects of the storm in the efforts underway. Those in the rural parts of Burlington may be the most susceptible to a lack of access to information. Also, residents, due to a loss of power, are turning to alternative heating source methods. This is exceptionally dangerous. There's an extreme risk of fire and carbon monoxide poisoning when operating these instruments inside of homes. Due to the hazard conditions, emergency response personnel may not be able to respond in a timely manner should an event occur. We want to advise all citizens, if you are in fact using these alternative heating methods, please keep these 3 things in mind. Keep up to 3 feet, 36 inches, or 1 meter of separation between the heating equipment and any other object that can burn. Never leave portable space heaters and candles unattended. Turn off heaters before going to bed. And 3, never use lighter fluid, kerosene, diesel fuel, or gasoline to start a fire. Another area of concern in which I want to talk to you about briefly is the area of transportation. The Vermont Agency of Transportation has declared that streets, roads, and highways are not drivable at this time, and has urged citizens to avoid driving at all costs. The DOT is unsure if their current vehicles can safely remove the ice, as well as how long this process may take. Local police departments are reporting that hundreds of car accidents have occurred as a result of citizens traveling on unsafe roads. To make matters worse, these roads are coupled with downed power lines and fallen trees, as well as 6 to 7 inches of ice. It's making movement next to impossible. We ask that all citizens avoid traveling at all costs unless it is an emergency situation. We have made efforts through the governor's office to request the Vermont National Guard provide its wrecker crews to aid in clearing roadways for emergency personnel. At this time, our efforts are concentrated on opening our lines of communication, restoring power, and providing emergency medical services. At this time, if there are any questions, I will take them now. Thank you for your attention, and be safe.